Hey, what's up guys, Brandon here, and today we're going to be doing a review on the NECA 12-inch long Godzilla figure. So, while we're here just looking at the figure before we go into the articulation and all that, I just want to say that this figure is very heavy. It's a very heavy figure, like, just like from picking it up and putting it down, you can actually hear it thud the table, just from me letting it go. It has a very heavy base to it, so it's not gonna fall over if you just like tap it. You know, it's not gonna. It's very, very bottom heavy. These thighs are very thick, and this feels very, very solid. This piece right here, where this feels really hollow, and this is a mixture of a type of like a rubber with like the tail is rubber, and then the body's made out of plastic with some rubber mixed in. So like the chest feels very soft and very like. It feels very like the tail, very rubbery, and then the mouth is also very rubbery, and then the tail is a full rubber all the way to the tip with a bendy wire inside, but we'll get over that when we go into the articulation. Let's look at the spikes on this thing and look at some of the sculpting. I want to talk about the sculpting and the amazing job that NECA has done with this figure. If you look, everything on this figure is sculpted to their highest perfections. Nothing is off, there's nothing missing. This is very much the Godzilla from the movie, and you can see all the little details running all over this figure, and you can feel it when you rub your finger on it or your nail, even when you're looking at the the stomach or torso section of the figure. You can see the extreme work that was put into paint. You can see all the different paints, the washes that they put into this, and you know, you can tell that NECA took a lot of time to make this the best figure that they possibly could without breaking their bank. Okay, so looking at the face sculpt, you can see the level of detail that NECA has put into this. You can really see like the eyes, you know, the scales. You can really see the attention to detail. The mouth is rubberized. It's, you know, it's rubber. It's made out of rubber. You can feel it when you touch it. It's not a hard plastic. You can kind of if you want, there's a way to like mess with it. See it? How it like rocks and stuff like that, because it's not a hard plastic. It is essentially a rubber, and you can see the level of detail that they went into. The eyes, mine is a little cockeyed when you look at it from front, so that's why you can see that he's looking this way instead of this way. But I don't know. I still like the figure overall, and there's a lot of like mistakes on the paint. Especially like right here, because they are teeth here, but they didn't paint them properly, so they came out a little black up there. That's nothing really to complain about, because you're not really going to see it, you know, even though, you know, it's always exposed. But if you turn to the other side, if you look at it like this, all fine. Wait, oh, knocked them out of focus. If you see it, perfectly fine. But I do feel like the head is a little small for this very big body, and I know people were complaining about that in the movie. It's not really that small. I feel like it's a lot larger in the movie. I feel like this head makes the figure look weird. But I do like it. And mine has this weird scratch. I don't know what this is. It's like a dark mark. I don't know if that's on everybody's, but it's a little unappealing to have that there. But yeah, and then you want to take a look into the mouth. You can see that the tongue there has a paint wash on it. And you can see that the jaw does articulate. Mine was actually stuck. I was one of those people who had a stuck jaw, and I had to pry it off. Basically, you just stick your nail right in here and kind of work with it, and it'll pop off. See it coming off right now. And then an easier way to help push the jaw from the jawline, and it just pops right up. And then fix it on the other side, or you can heat it up. Either way, gets the jaw to move. So the one minor gripe I have with this figure is that it was very stiff out of the packaging, and it was almost frustrating where the paint got stuck on from here to the back of the elbow, and it almost felt like it was gonna break, because I was had to heat it up and then pry the plastic apart, and I heard it like snapping. And now it works perfectly, but it was just so irritating that I had to like do that with this joint, and then I had to do it with this joint and the foot joint on this foot joint. It felt like the plastic was almost gonna break half of the figure, so I was very, very gentle with it, you know. And I may have bought this at a Toys R Us and, you know, and all that, but I just didn't feel like going back, you know, because I bought this exactly the same day that I saw the movie. So, you know, I wanted to mess around with my Godzilla and pose them up and whatever, but, you know how that goes. You know, you have those first minute fears when you get the figure. Yeah, it was just really bad. So yeah, let's move on. So to go over the articulation, let's start at the head. So the head can move on its own. It's a separate piece from the neck, so it can move. I would say you can get it in the 360. Yes, you can. Then the jaw is articulated, so it moves in and out like that. Then the neck can rotate all the way around 360 again. Then we're going to go to the arms. The arms have these interesting joints, which I very rarely see on figures, where it goes like this. It can do a 360, but there is like an armpit joint in both arms, so you can see that. I hope this is not really bad. Alright, I'm just going to work on one side. And then you can see that there is a forearm bend, and it rotates, kind of like the Predators or the Aliens from those lines. Then the hand is on a disc, so it spins 360, and then it can bend like this, so it's kind of this weird like joint where it can do this. Does that make sense? I'm a horrible at explaining things, but it can move up and down. There you go, best way to say it. Then the figure has a waist, like a waist swivel, but it's not really that great, so it can move all the way. There we go. It kind of gets stuck a little bit on mine. It gets stuck about right there. And see, it's got stuck again. So there we go. And then it goes all the way this way. And it gets stuck about right there. Both sides. You can force it to go the other way. You know, all the way around. But there's no need for that. Wait, let's just look at that. Wow, that's really nice. Then the thigh joint has the same joint as the arm, where it does this little in and out trick, where you can pop it in and pop it back out. And it rotates all the way around. There's actually sculpting on the inside of here. I don't know for what reason they did that, because no one's really going to be looking in there. And then the craziest part is that this has articulated knees. I did not think this at first, but it does. It can move out to be that straight. You can see that, and then it bends like to there. It's not really much, but shockingly enough it does. And then it has a little bit of an ankle pivot. You can see that. See these Godzilla toes. See a little ankle pivot rocking in there. And it can push forward and push up. So then there's 4 points in the tail. So there's 1 here, 2, and then 3. Right? And then, so yeah. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And these 4 points are all individual. So this is 1, 2, and then 3. And 4 is up here. I forgot this one. I always forget this one because it blends in so well. You forget that it's articulate. Then I find this to be the very big difference between this and a SH Monster Arts figure is that this is a rubber tail with a bendy wire. So you can basically bend this tail pretty much up to like here, I guess. Yeah, it's about here where it kind of stops, and then you can kind of straighten it all the way out. It's very tough to do too, so to anybody who's getting this in dynamic poses, you know, oops, you know, props to you. And you can see how long it is. It's still not the end of the tail. Let me see. Maybe if I get them all the way in front. There we go. So there you go. That's the full figure, and it's still not even stretched out all the way. It's still kind of bunched up, but yeah, you can see how long this tail is. Is it as long as the Monster Arts Millennium Godzilla? I don't think so. Nope, the Millennium is still longer. So you can see that the Millennium's tail is seriously longer. If I put them at the same spot, yeah, they're almost about the same, but the Millennium is slightly longer. You can also see the size comparison between the two. The Millennium, this is a very small, it's very small. I thought this figure was going to be a lot larger, but then again, when we're getting the 24-inch one, I understand why. So let's do some size comparisons with Godzilla and some other figures from some other lines, and you guys can make a decision on if you think that this is a proper scaling for you. So here is Godzilla standing next to the Marvel Legends 6-inch Astonishing Cyclops. So you can see how tall he is compared to an average 6-inch figure, because this is the BoogACBA mold, as we already know, and you know this is standard 6-inch scale. You see that Godzilla fits exactly in with that scale. So here is the two Godzilla standing side by side together, and you can see they're almost about the same height, but this Godzilla stands a tad, the Millennium Godzilla stands a tad bit taller. This NECA Godzilla is pretty close, and you can see that he's kind of, they kind of work in the same scale, but this one's just a lot beefier. And just for shits and giggles, I wanted to see how well this Godzilla fits in scale with the Mothra from the SH Monster Arts, and you can see that it also works in good scale. The Mothra having a big ass head comparing to this Godzilla, and you can see how small his head is. But yeah, I just thought it would just be funny to put them together. So the big question is, do I recommend this figure? And to make it as brief as possible, my answer is I do and I don't. If you are a collector who is on a budget because you are so busy buying so many other lines, or you are very into the SH Monster Arts line and you want a Godzilla that represents this, you know, the movie that just came out right now, yes, this is the Godzilla to get because it is so cheap. I have found this thing on sale for $16.99 in certain places, and it's really you're getting a lot for what you're paying for. I wish, and I really mean this when I say this, I wish this figure came with some buildings. I think that's the one thing that's holding this figure back for me, is the fact that it doesn't come with anything. It's just this figure, and for the lack of articulation in the tail, that bothers me, because I'm very spoiled by the Monster Arts line, and I love the way I can manipulate the tail however I want. And this one I have to kind of work with this because this is very thick rubber that you're working with here, and it's very hard to move. So that's one thing that I don't like about this figure. But if you are a collector on a budget, and if you are maybe a younger collector who is not spoiled by their parents, this is definitely the way to go. Or you can wait for the 24-inch that's coming out. That will be about $44.50, so I've heard, and it's going to have a roar, and I believe it's going to light up or something like that. It's going to be something really cool that I heard, because NECA likes to spoil us with their amazing gifts. If you are a young collector, I definitely think you should pick it up. If you are a collector who really needs a Godzilla, I suggest you need this Godzilla, like, you know, the movie Godzilla. Pick it up. It's worth every $20 you're gonna put into it after taxes. So that is my full review of the Godzilla. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and if you didn't, thumbs it down, because I guess because you didn't like it, so I know I can do better next time. Also, let me know what you guys thought of the movie, you know, the 2014 Godzilla movie, and also what you think of this figure. I will talk to you next time, where I will be doing a PTA video. So finally I'll be getting back into my a.c.b.a. and displaying and all this stuff. I have a lot of cool things that I just picked up that I want to show you guys. So with that, I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, nerds.